Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy, and I don't know if you remember my recent geode that I tried to do acrylic ribbon pour on to use up paint that ended up being a failure. So I just did resin over it, and then it turned out super beautiful. Well, at the same time I was working on that, I grabbed some coasters and I decided to try ribbon pour on some coasters using some of that leftover paint because I knew I was only going to be able to make it work for so long, and I still had all the mess out. So that's why it's a messy background, but we're not pretentious, so it's fine. So these are 4-inch coasters. I'm using the black mixture I had, which was some variation of Mars black. I don't particularly like Mars black when it's wet. It looks very brown or yellow. My dog is groaning like I'm disturbing her. But anyway, it looks pretty after it dries. It dries darker. But I also have just like a ton of paint supplies, some of which are like half used, sitting on the shelf. So I need to, use them. So I am layering some ribbons in that cup, but I don't know what the colors are, and I'm out of frame. So I think that's Black Cherry and Hot Tamale from Colourarte. Don't quote me on the colors because they may be wrong. And I think I put some copper, which was some old cell activator, some old gold cell activator. I just kind of grab random stuff. But these were pretty, and they mostly look copper. I tried to do a ribbon and that didn't work out. I was like, the real estate's too small. So I tried to do like a more traditional ribbon, and it just didn't work, So then I just kind of switched from jiggling around and did something a little bit more simple. And, I just squiggled some paint on them, and they look pretty. I actually just resined one of them tonight. Once that resin is done, they'll be up on Etsy, and I think they're really cute. Like, they're simple, so that corner's whack, but it's okay. We can tilt that whack corner off. But they were fun, Sometimes you just need like the stress-free element of pouring where you throw paint down and see what happens. And these were a lot of fun. And even though I put that Black Cherry and the Hot Tamale in there, they kind of blended nicely with the other colors. So it kind of looks like a fiery gold copper. But yeah, so I decided to share this process with you guys, especially if you're like new to pouring. You don't have to do complicated things all the time. Sometimes fun things are perfect. And this is a great way to use up your paints. And these paints, once upon a time, other than the black that I'm using as my base, these were bloom paints that I thinned out. And so this is also a good way to use up some of your bloom paints that might be mixed funny or sitting too long. So, I'm a big fan of not just throwing things out if I can make them work. So I think these were nice. And like I said, I'm constantly needing to restock my Etsy shop anyway. So yeah. And I've been playing around with some other stuff. I have some videos coming up. I've been wanting to try my hand at like kind of a modified cloud pour. And so far I'm kind of bad at them, but I think my formula is not my formula, but I think something is off about my cloud mix. So as I figure that out, you're probably going to see a lot of more old school acrylic pouring. But I like to do that sometimes. I just don't always have time to have all the variety, and with like blooms and stuff, I have to practice often. I'm completely out of frame. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have to practice often or I feel like I lose my touch. And then Unfortunately, I have a large diversity in taste. So I like to do resin, I like to do acrylic, I like to do blooms, I like to do regular stuff. There's only so much time and space, you know? So anyway, I hope that you enjoy these. I'm hoping that I'm going to bring that coaster back in frame. What a goober. So you see how this one, the colors are a little bit deeper. Like we have more copper, less gold, a little bit more of a pinkish tint where that black cherry is showing. What's cool is two of them end up being more like this and two of them end up being more like the first one. So they complement each other. And I just think they're so cute. I mean, they're simple, but they're cute. So anyway, fun way to use up stuff. And I still really get a kick out of doing coasters. And they do sell in my store, especially during the holidays. And I never have time to get them stocked. So if I can do stuff during the year with leftover paint, that's helpful to kind of get ahead of the game. And then it makes me feel like I'm not wasting stuff. So, you know, when you're a kid, you don't want to color outside the lines and all that. And then you grow up and then you can totally color outside the lines with painting. So you can just make a mess and it's okay. And I'm so out of the frame. I'm so sorry. I'm just tilting away over there by myself. Sometimes I turn the camera on and I like listen to reading or something and then I kind of just forget it's on, but it helps me capture what I'm doing. So this might be a super lame quick video because you can't see what I'm doing. Hopefully on the next one I do better, but you can see the end result. So see here, you can see a lot more of that black cherry, kind of that pinkish color. Oops, I just scraped it. Apparently I didn't like it. Maybe this time I'll be in the frame. I should have just spun them out, but whatever. I did what I did. So anyway, I'm curious, leave me a comment. How do you guys like to use up your old paint? And like, what are some clever things that you do? You know, I try to use paint skins sometimes. Can't always wait for my paint skins to dry, but you know, all that fun stuff. But I'd love to know like what your favorite thing to do with them is. I make lists of things that I'm going to do with them and then I run out of time and then, you know, like the other day I was like, oh, I should mix up this color again. I was like, no, don't mix up more colors. Use up the colors you have mixed up. And then you can do that, you know? Oh, I should have left that one alone and not poured that corner. Oh my gosh, I'm out of frame again. You guys, how did I like not know that I was way out of frame? Anyway, this video may be a bust, but I still wanted to share with you guys. I'm probably going to speed up my voice a little bit, so if I sound like a chipmunk, for these quickie videos, I try to keep them pretty short if possible. Look, what a cutie. Very, very abstract, geometric, you know. I don't know if I did the last one on camera or not. If I did, I hope that I did it in the frame. That's one thing, like, I forget when I do regular acrylic pouring that you need to torch, because with blooms, you don't torch. I mean, thankfully, I do resin art enough that the torch is not far, but sometimes when I do regular acrylic pouring, I'm like, oh yeah, I got a torch. It's amazing. Look at what a mess I'm making back there. Look at all that paint and dirty baby wipes. My goodness. I did notice that my black paint was a little bit thin as these dried. Like the coaster edge sort of shows a little bit, but it's on the side, so it's not like a big deal. But normally I can get my paint thick enough where that doesn't happen. These are the ones from Home Depot. and they're like 4¼ inch. Some people like the bigger size. I don't like the weird notchy things on the side, which is not a big deal for coasters, but like when you do blooms and stuff, those are a lot more noticeable, so I prefer the ones from Lowe's. But I still have a bunch of these, so I need to use them. They're just taking up space for years now. And again, I'm way over there out of the camera frame. I usually keep a step stool right next to me so that I can climb up and see what you can see frequently to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Apparently on this occasion I did not do that, so I'm so sorry. But this is a great thing to try for beginners. I couldn't tell you what the paint is mixed with entirely. I know that I think the black base is mixed with either Floetrol or glue and water. I just kind of grabbed whatever I had in a jug and used it up first. But anyway, I hope that you appreciated this, even though I was out of frame most of the time. And let me know what you think, and let me know how you use your old paint. I'd love to hear it, and appreciate you guys. Bye.